if I'm a shopper, I'm used to searching. Search is where 80% of my behavior starts and lead to purchases. Now, if we move to ONDC, how does the search work here? Like you have different search behaviors happening on, say, Myntra or Flipkart or Amazon IN. Now, are we talking about a whole brand new search on ONDC network, or are we
on platform searches, which is what they call as buyer applications, which means how is the buyer actually now searching or choosing. So there are two kinds of search which is happening on Google, for example, that is off platform or off application. The other one is which is happening through an application, search within an application. Now today, when a search happens within an application, you basically get the sellers who are listed on that application. Whereas if tomorrow Amazon gets listed on or gets ONDC compliant, then the search on Amazon will now start throwing search results which are not necessarily also sellers from Amazon. Similarly, that's exactly, I mean, it'll kind of become like Google, which means, I pretty much get a platform agnostic search. So irrespective of whether the seller is selling on Amazon, or he's a Kirana store or traditional trade, or he's selling through a D2C, my search results will come up. So I guess that is the difference that you will see, which is your lower funnel searches, which is happening on platform, will start opening up beyond the sellers who were confined to Amazon, which means it'll show me also a traditional trade which is selling a Kimberly-Clark Andrex toilet roll, for example, and not just. So I guess the way the search results will start appearing on page 1, page 2, etc., will start to change a little bit in terms of.
And this is going to be on a certain website that they're launching this?
No, see, that's what ONDC is not a platform. It's basically a protocol. It's a digital network that they're creating. Okay, so they are basically going to foster innovation on the network, which means what you need to do is for example, if I need to do a D2C website tomorrow, and as for say Kimberly-Clark, and if I'm doing an Andrex D2C website, I will put it onto the ONDC network. Then what happens is my products, my assortments will get thrown in any search which is going to come through any buyer application. So it's not, ONDC is not a platform. It's not a marketplace. It's not going to sit down to compete, but it's creating an ecosystem of buyers and sellers or marketplaces into one network, which will then become like a meta marketplace.
Got it. That's super helpful to understand. Thanks, Ramesh, for explaining to us what ONDC is and the implications. Now,
there's just one more thing. Sorry. Another very key thing in what ONDC is going to do is what they call as unbundling. So there are two things. One is interoperability, which is what I explained to you, which is interoperability for sellers and buyers across different marketplaces. The second thing is unbundling. So today, if you see the whole supply chain in a marketplace is again linear, which means I use an FBA, I use warehousing, defined by the marketplaces or whatever, that I need to do. Whereas tomorrow with ONDC, what happens is I can pretty much unbundle. I can pick and choose anybody that I want through the network, whether it's payment, whether it's logistics, whether it is warehousing, everything is completely unbundled. So it's available literally, depending on what that situation is. So I can use quick commerce logistics. I can use a regular FBA if I require, or whatever. So unbundling is another big proposition.
So essentially ONDC allows almost like a headless type of an environment. Right. You can take those and create your own.
You can pick and pack.
Put some Lego blocks together on that.
Absolutely. It's exactly, the concept is very similar to Lego blocks. It depends on you. So tomorrow when I'm doing a website, or if I'm doing a D2C, if I'm doing a marketplace, if I'm creating a retail store, now I need to now start looking at how to use this pick and pack Lego blocks.
Awesome. That's great.